I will keep my remarks brief because MIT's graduation is also today, and I want to give you a 15-minute head start on your job hunt. Those nerds down the river won't know what hit them.
Hello， 大家好，我是李恩。我们上次不是介绍了台大毕业生 Nathan 他在2026年的这一场著名的演说吗？那今天我们要来介绍的呢是哈佛大学啊，哈佛每年的这个毕业典礼都会请来一位所谓的 commencement speaker 哈 ，commencement speaker 是一个校方邀请的，那多半都是毕业的杰出校友。那但是呢，也没有说一定设限啦哈，就是说只要哈佛大学他自己觉得这个人物呢，不管是政治明星啦，或者是娱乐圈、好莱坞都可以，只要哈佛觉得他这个人物在文化啦、在艺术啦，或者是在一些公共议题上面有杰出贡献的哈，那哈佛每年都会请来。那今年2026年请到的是我个人最喜欢的一位美国深夜脱口秀节目的主持人就是 Conor O'Brien 哈。那 Conor 呢，他的好笑，我个人认为是非常非常实力派的，而且他并不是那种特别喜欢谈政治的哈，所以有别于一些非常左派的脱口秀节目主持人，我一直认为 Conor 呢，他是一个比较避谈政治，但是却又以非常幽默风格著称的主持人。那没有想到呢，为什么哈佛邀他来呢？也是因为他本身就是1985年的哈佛毕业生校友，哇，真的可以说是既会搞笑又会读书啊！而且呢，他在2025年的时候还被获颁马克吐温幽默奖，代表了美国文化界的一个非常崇高的地位。那么我们今天就来呢，好好的欣赏这一个长达20多分钟的 Conor 演说呢，是如何的来劝勉台下这些哈佛应届毕业生们呢，要如何让哈佛成为人们最不重要知道的事。好，因为真正的教育呢，来自人生的挑战与人际关系。那么就让我们话不多说，我陪大家一起边看边聊，我们就开始吧。
Welcome, trustees, deans, faculty, alumni, graduates, families, my fellow honorands, Justice Department spies, and that Uber Eats driver delivering mimosas. As I look upon this gathering of tomorrow's greatest minds, I'm confident saying there is no less flattering outfit than the cap and gown. We all look like the potions professor at Hogwarts. Up here on stage, it feels like an AA meeting for druids. I want to thank President Garber for his incredible stewardship of this graduating class. Fantastic job, sir. Really nice. Really nice. Normally, I would give you an A+. But in keeping with upcoming Harvard policy, I'm adjusting your grade to a C-. Trust me, it's for the good of the school. I will keep my remarks brief because MIT's graduation is also today, and I want to give you a 15-minute head start on your job hunt. Those nerds down the river won't know what hit them. Also, just a quick announcement after the ceremony. Tequila shots are on me at the Porcellian Club. Yeah. You're all invited. Just force your way inside and tell them Conan sent you. They're an understanding bunch. As we gather here today at this beautiful Tercentenary Theater, I am struck by one thought. Only someone from Harvard would call this patch of grass a Tercentenary Theater. Just look at this yard, Percival. 'Tis a veritable Tercentenary Theater. Harvard, why use a $5 word when a $50 word will do? It's really nice to be back at the very last place I used the word querulous in a sentence. Standing right over there by Widener, I asked someone, what does querulous mean? Fortunately, they knew the answer because it was a Yale student. Man, they're good. Oh, please. Please. Let us not denigrate our fellow Ivies. Let's admit that all 7 are worthy institutions. Except for Princeton, those people are absolute tools. The hell's going on over there? Yeah. As I stand here, I'm flooded with so many rich memories of this campus, and especially of my dear beloved Mather House. Yeah. Yeah, that's enough. Mather was named after former Harvard president Increase Mather, who was an infamous figure in the Salem witch trials. And if any of you spent more than an hour in Mather House, you know the witches got the last laugh. It's such an ugly building. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's tear it down, start again. All right, here we go. Of course, we all make jokes about our school, but Harvard is still our nation's oldest and most renowned seat of higher learning. And today, you are the 375th graduating class. Yes. Did you know that the first graduating class in 1642 had only 9 students? Yeah. And somehow even they were all legacies. That's hard to do. No university in our nation has produced more Nobel laureates or white-collar criminals. So whether you choose good or evil, know that you are among the very best. Harvard is indeed an impressive place. Today, this university honors 13 esteemed colleges, and I salute all of you, each and every one. Now, of course, don't push it. Of course, this includes the Harvard School of Dental Medicine. Yes. Yeah. And let me tell you something. When Harvard dentists say you may rinse and spit, they say it in Latin. I wasn't going to do that joke, but the dental school said they'd give me free veneers if I gave them a shout out. No, I take my assignment today seriously, and in preparation for this speech, I asked the provost's office for intel on all your concerns. And I was told the following. You're obsessed with doing laundry now that it's free. You bemoan the lack of fresh berries. You're upset that not all the dining halls have hot breakfast. Yeah. And you're alarmed that the Kennedy School has stopped providing complimentary coffee. Yeah. If these are indeed your concerns, you sicken me. Half those complaints are things you'd hear from a brown bear. Before I continue, there is one thing I must acknowledge. For your entire academic lives, you have been lectured to by lots and lots of old white men. And now, when you are minutes from getting out the door, Harvard is saying, not so fast. We found one more. He graduated 41 years ago, and he's not just white, but shockingly white. Indirect sunlight, you can see his bones. Well, I may be old and white, but let me assure you, I still fit in seamlessly with the long list of Nobel laureates, heads of state, and civil rights activists who have given this commencement address. Now, sure, they did great things, but only I play a talking, potty-training gadget named Smarty Pants in the upcoming Toy Story 5 in theaters everywhere on June 19th. Did Winston Churchill do that? He did not. Former German Chancellor Angela Merkel, well, she did audition, but testing showed she frightened children. Yes, I graduated 40 years ago, but I promise you, your lives here were no different than mine was in 1981. Like you, I too had to put an extra long cord on my dorm phone so I could cook my lean cuisine while talking to my friends about Mr. T. Like you, I know the pain of losing my place on the Ms. Pac-Man leaderboard because I was too busy buying an erase cartridge for my Smith Corona typewriter. Yes, we are all bound by these ancient common truths. Now, of course, I understand the unprecedented difficulties you face today, including AI. Yeah, I know. Luckily, AI is not a problem at Harvard. Here, professors have been able to quickly flag students' use of AI thanks to the sophisticated AI software they use to grade papers. It all works out. Yeah. And don't worry. Despite your fears, trust me when I say AI cannot replace you. Yes. It'll be too busy replacing those creeps from Princeton. Anyway, of course, perhaps the biggest issue facing this institution is that the federal government of the United States is suing our university. Yeah. Many people think I've come today to defend Harvard. Well, sorry, those people are wrong. Not only am I not against these lawsuits, I'm here to announce that I'm joining them. I, too, am suing Harvard. I'm suing Harvard for the cast-iron bunk bed that greeted me upon my arrival at Hallworthy 16 my freshman year. A bed that has since been confiscated by The Hague as an instrument of divine cruelty. I'm suing Harvard for allowing me to sign up for a 9 a.m. class at the Science Center and a 10 a.m. class down at Soldiers Field. For God's sakes, I was a child! I'm suing Harvard for my less than spectacular undergraduate sex life. For me having a three-way meant adding a second mirror to my dorm. I'm suing Harvard because once I had to listen to the Harvard Crocodillos do an 8-minute rendition of Splish Splash, I was taking a bath. My God, each one took a solo, and it was awful. And finally, I'm suing Harvard because, and this is absolutely true, in the spring of my sophomore year, while trying to grab a quick lunch at Adam's house, I was served a meal called Captain Ben's Fish Spaghetti. To this day, I have no idea who Captain Ben is or why someone would combine government-issue cod with spaghetti. Harvard, I'll see your ass in court. Yes, I'm confident that my claims will have more merit than those filed by the President of the United States. Yes. As you are aware, the current administration feels Harvard admits too many foreign students, and who knows, they may have a point. After all, what has any foreigner ever added to our American culture? With the possible exception of music, literature, art, cuisine, fashion, architecture, dance, scientific breakthroughs, and the core of our moral codes and ethical beliefs. Seriously. If foreigners hadn't gummed up the works, right now we'd all be listening to delightful Calvinist reggae, eating savory Church of England ziti, and dancing the forbidden and sexually charged Lutheran lambada. But let me assure you, I did not come here simply to toss off some jokes about my alma mater. I mean, that was the main reason. But I really do love this school. It changed my life. The day I told my bedridden grandmother, a woman who had never had the opportunity to go to college, that I had been accepted to Harvard, and seeing her weep is one of the happiest days of my life. Of course, it turned out I was sitting on her leg. But I knew in addition to the pain, she felt real joy. And I felt joy as well, especially when I sat here at my commencement in 1985. I really understand how much hard work it took for all of you to get to this point. And you should feel enormous pride, just as I did. On my commencement day, I was content if my Harvard degree was the first thing people knew about me. But what I have found, after all these years, is that I am fine with Harvard being the last thing anyone knows about me. This is not a diss on this institution in any way. I just believe that status, even when it's hard-won, can be double-edged. When I started my career hosting a late-night talk show, there was no internet. The only thing the media knew about Conan O'Brien was that he went to Harvard. That association may have been fine if I were a burgeoning philosopher or physicist, but for a comedian, that was a death knell. People thought the name of my show would be Late Night with He Thinks He's Better Than You, which I would have gone with, but it didn't fit on the shirt. All these years later, Harvard is far, far from the very first thing people think of when they hear my name. I have made 10,000 hours of content, and none of it screams Ivy League education. That's right, I'm the man who went on Hot Ones and rubbed hot sauce on my nipples. I shopped for weed with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. I got drunk in an American Girl doll store. I've done many things no man should do. And all of this was before I became a Pixar potty training toy. Now, some of you may think, well, that's comedy, Conan. How does that apply to me? And to you I say, how dare you interrupt? I'm giving a commencement address. Yes, my challenges were unique to me. But I found that any single achievement, like a Harvard diploma, becomes less important to me in all the very best ways when I embrace certain principles. The first is that I endeavor to always remind myself that I have done absolutely nothing alone. Walt Whitman wrote, "I contain multitudes." Well, I contain a breakfast sandwich and an iced coffee from Tate, but whatever I have achieved has been with the help of an infinitely packed clown car of multitudes. If I could invite everybody, alive or dead, who has contributed to my being your commencement speaker today, all of Cambridge and half of Alston would be crammed, shoulder to shoulder, with friends, family, well-wishers, writers, producers, haters, fans, and a billion chance encounters. Recognizing that my accomplishments are not just my own has given me much-needed ballast throughout my life, and it really helps to spread the blame around when things go south. Another thing I learned to do that has saved me repeatedly is to pivot. I have had to course correct so many times in my career that my path is a crazed tangles of zigs and zags. I famously lost a job that meant the world to me, and then years later, I saw the entire format of late-night television, something that I had dedicated my career to, start to evaporate. So at the suggestion of a very smart friend, I started a podcast. I actually had disdain for the project until, with the help of guests, collaborators, and an assistant addicted to gummies, I made something I loved just as much, if not more, than my late-night show. I have had to pivot like this so many times that I've come to really love pivoting. And I use the word pivot much more than I should in conversation and commencement speeches. And now I pivot to my next truth. I always recognize the enormous role of luck in my life. Refusing to see how luck has played a role in anyone's success is simply ignorant. Many people are happy to mistake a lucky poker hand for their own brilliance, and fighting that human instinct has kept me sane. I honestly believe that community, spontaneity, and a real commitment to humility has helped me build a rich life that means much more to me than any diploma. And believe me, I'm not saying the goal is to renounce accomplishments, but rather to metabolize them. If you carry your victories lightly other qualities, kindness, originality, courage, humor, and humanity, have room to emerge. Maybe, maybe the greatest lessons I've learned along these lines have been through my 24 travel shows. I have degraded myself in Cuba, Ghana, Korea, Armenia, half of Europe, Argentina, Thailand, Mexico, and Greenland, where I visited a real estate office and tried to buy the country. When I travel to another land, every quality I have discussed, community, adaptation, and a sincerely humble approach are all necessary. When you don't speak the language, no one truly cares where you went to college, and you have no choice but to make friends. It's on these travels that I learned a great lesson. Let yourself be bad at things. I have been a bad dancer in every country I have visited. But the people laugh because it turns out everyone everywhere is related to at least one terrible dancer. For me, humility on these trips can easily lead to humiliation, which is also a useful tool. 3 weeks ago, I visited Amsterdam, dressed up as Van Gogh, and forced my way into the Van Gogh Museum, where I started loudly demanding a cut of the merchandising because I made no money during my lifetime. Guards forcibly ejected me. I was roundly mocked by patrons for my pathetic display, but I did see a lot of smiles, and not one person said, "Now that's a Harvard grad." In Tokyo, I met with a teacher of Japanese etiquette who volunteered I wasn't her type. And when I asked her why, she just said, "Face." In Ghana, after accepting a royal invitation, I was kicked out of the Ashanti Palace by the Queen Mother because her favorite soap opera was starting. I understand that I am preaching modesty and connection at a time when this is not in style. We are living through a period of extreme narcissism. Our current leadership in Washington believes that empathy is a weakness and that our nation stands supreme and alone. Add to that, everyone here today has a phone in their pocket that is algorithmically programmed to celebrate you and you alone by making you the protein-maxing hero of your own special journey. Much has been written about how isolated and siloed we've become, but for me, the antidote is quite simple. By de-emphasizing what makes us special, in your case, a prize degree, we can really find one another, not as an exercise in virtue, but as a path towards greater laughter, love, and real growth. And believe me, I struggle daily with my own pretensions. I am aware that I am telling you to transcend your glories as I stand on this stage, accepting a doctorate I didn't really earn, while dressed like a 12th century pope. Big surprise! I have a giant ego. I mean, come on, the titles of my shows have been A Late Night with Conan O'Brien, The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien, Conan, where did I think of that one? Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and Conan O'Brien Must Go. I fought like hell to have today's ceremony named Conan O'Brien Presents the Harvard Commencement starring Conan O'Brien. Yeah, let's get that done. So when I realized that my message today would be about the rejection of honor and status, can I consider for a second turning this doctorate down? Did I say, "No, President Garber, my achievements are not my own. I must decline"? Hell no! Not for a second. My grandfather, who everyone called Hoofer, and who had to drop out of the 7th grade to support his parents, was a traffic cop in Worcester, Massachusetts. Yeah, and he had a saying, "Take what you can get and ask for more." very wise man. Hoofer is an essential passenger in my clown car of multitudes. And in his honor, I will grab this doctorate and then ask President Garber if there's also a cash component. You see, I, like you, am still very much a work in progress. But the ideals I stress today have made my life infinitely richer and happier. So maybe my wish for you is not that Harvard becomes the last thing people know about you, but instead that Harvard becomes the least important thing people know about you. Because your real education starts now, with friends you've made and friends you've yet to meet, with stunning successes and miserable defeats, and with a humble acceptance that your greatness comes from the mess around you, not despite it. From the depths of my heart, I congratulate you, class of 2026, not for any piece of paper you received today, but because of your hard work, determination, humanity, and the boundless community that you have and will create. Let us all resolve on this great day to go forward together and see Toy Story 5 in theaters everywhere, June 19th. Thank you.
其实严格来说，某种意义上 Conner 的这一篇演说，当然他因为不是应届毕业生，所以呢不能相提并论，但是他确实是我今年看过觉得最好的一个毕业典礼的演讲。当然这里面呢，他仍然不忘嘲讽一下川普，特别是川普目前呢以联邦政府的名义对于这个哈佛大学很多的诉讼提告。那这个部分呢，我相信支持川普的朋友跟我一样呢，都会比较表示不以为然。但是呢 Conner 用幽默的方式他还是替这一些所谓的外国学生多说了一些话，表示说如果没有这些多元的外国学生的话，美国今天的文化不会是这么样的一个多样性。我觉得作为一个脱口秀主持人的角度来讲，其实任何一个状况下批评时政我觉得都无伤大雅。而且 Conner 坦白说，他已经算是相对在政治议题已经是很温和的了。那他又是作为哈佛的这个毕业校友，所以我觉得他这一次稍微帮哈佛讲一点话，其实是无可厚非。但是我非常喜欢 Conner 一点，就是他总是用自嘲的方式去来挖苦他不太像一些脱口秀演员都是直接就用嘲讽对方的方式。Conner 很愿意去挖苦自己，这也是我很喜欢他的地方。那我觉得这一篇演讲最发人省思的仍然是很难的你可以看到站在这样子的一个全美国第一名的学府，而且又是以一个毕业生校友的邀请嘉宾来讲的话，他居然演讲的重点反而是什么？就是让哈佛成为人们知道你的一件最不重要的事情。他的这篇演讲的核心就是他认为，当今天的毕业生拿了这一个看似光鲜亮丽的文凭之后，可是以后你要面对的人生其实是充满的人际关系当中的相处，包含运气，包含失败，甚至乃在于混乱当中，你才有可能一步一步成就你的伟大。而你的伟大绝对不是凭着这一个毕业证书，这一份镀金的文凭。他认为只有在这种混乱及失败当中所找到的智慧，才是这个教育本质上真正的意义。所以他也谈到说，他后来他做的节目各方面当中，一大堆疯狂的这种娱乐性的这种低俗文化的挑战等等等等。他说这一些尝试其实都没有人会去在意他是一个哈佛毕业生校友，而也越来越多 的时候，已经没有人知道，也没有人记得他原来其实是一个哈佛毕业生。所以他强调就是学位跟这种名校的光环不应该是你人生的终极标签，因为这样子并没有办法造就你真正的伟大。我觉得这个题目不但是非常大胆，等于是告诉学生，人生并不在于你是否是哈佛毕业，可是它却又是对整个毕业生们毕业后的一个人生目标价值，我认为起到了一个很正确的方向跟角度。这种勇于失败以及在混乱中找到的真正伟大呢，反而跟完美的履历形成了强烈的对比。所以康能提醒毕业生的是，失败绝对不是人生的污点，而是一个教育的延伸。那么这也是我自己觉得这一篇演说，它不但只有好笑，去开自己的玩笑，嘲讽自己的学校，但更重要的是他想传达给学生们的就是，其实你从哈佛开始毕了业，一切而言都不算得上是什么，因为人生真正的一个丰富的旅程才正要开始。但如果你愿意保持这一种谦逊及混乱当中继续与人碰撞摸索的过程，他说保持这样心态，其实你会发现你的人生会更加的丰富，而且更加的有欢乐，因为在这里面当中很多的人性的东西才得以衍生，得以同时生长。但是当然我也必须有一点点不同的看法，就是说康能确实强调了一种多元文化的平衡，可是今天我认为美国真正的问题不在于是否文化足够多元，美国过去建国几百年以来，它早就已经是一个多元文化的大熔炉了，而是在于是连美国自身的文化其实都已经被打破这个平衡，你接受更大量的非法移民，并没有真正实现的文化熔炉，而使得是更多的所谓的落后文化在侵蚀你国家的好的文化的时候，我觉得必须要去正视一个就是无条件的包容是否是害了自己的这样的问题。因为文化坦白说在我来看它确实是有高低之分的，正常来讲低的文化会想要向好的文化去学习，但是如果用过度保护的角度的时候，你可能同时其实在做的是去打压了自己本来原有好的文化，甚至否认掉了好的文化传统。这也就是为什么尽管我能够非常喜欢的康能这篇演讲，但是我也仍然非常支持川普总统继续跟哈佛大学来进行这个联邦诉讼。因为今天好比说穆斯林或是 LGBTQ 文化，它不应该是一个拿来可以打压基督教或者是打压所谓传统价值文化的工具以及武器，而哈佛在这一点上面来讲，他已经走得太偏了。所以呢，我只能说哈佛请来一个非常棒的毕业校友，为他们好好的做了一番注解。但是这个符不符合哈佛大学目前的实际情况呢？我仍然是打上一个非常大的问号。但是也因为作为一个包容的保守主义者呢，我个人仍然非常喜欢康能他的这一篇演讲的核心内容。确实就个人而言，他让我们看到了对学生而言是一个更正确的人生态度，那就是不要让哈佛成为别人记住你的一件事，甚至要让哈佛成为别人最不容易记得你的一件事。我们这里是超级神队友，我们就下部影片再见，拜拜。Cornerstone is Christ alone, our hope.